Saturday, I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We have seen significant progression in the line of showers and thunderstorms over the last couple of hours. I believe the last time I was with you, it was right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now we're getting into the early part of the evening. It's right around 5:15, and that line of showers and thunderstorms has since pushed its way through the Huntsville metro area. Began to push its way into the Huntsville metro area probably about 20 or 25 minutes ago. Honestly, the wind really wasn't that bad. Maybe some wind gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, it was the thunder, the lightning, and the heavy rain. I did I was looking at some different radar products a little while ago, that maybe there was a little bit of hail in North Huntsville, northern Madison County, probably some incredibly small hail, but one of our radar products was picking up on the potential that there may have been a little bit of hail in northern Madison County. We'll start back west of the I-65 corridor first, Lauderdale, Colbert, down into Franklin counties, heading into Lawrence County, much of Limestone County at this point. We're just talking about a little bit of rain, and this rain's going to continue for the next few hours. So really, if you're west of the I-65 corridor, the overall threat for strong and severe thunderstorms definitely come to an end. The same can also be said up across southern Middle Tennessee. At this point, we're just talking about a little bit of rain, Giles and Lincoln counties, up across southern Middle Tennessee. Maybe some heavier rain at times. You can kind of see this red here across northwest Alabama, indicating some pockets of heavier rain, though the rain has not been heavy enough to create any issues across the Tennessee Valley. As this line has kind of pushed its way on through the area, I haven't seen any reports of any localized flash flooding. I don't think the rain has been that significant, but at the same time, we could also use the rain, so it would take a fair amount of rain to actually create some flash flooding. And at this point in the evening, it just doesn't really look like that's what we're talking about across the Tennessee Valley. But let's zoom in on this line. Back towards Skyline, we're talking about some pockets of heavier rain. Gurley, Woodville, down into Owens Crossroads. We're talking about some heavy rain. 431 up and over the mountain. They're probably slow going right now as we head down into Owens Crossroads, maybe down into New Hope. They're talking about some heavier rain. A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. There is not a lot of lightning associated with this line of showers and thunderstorms, which is a really good indicator that this line of showers and thunderstorms really is not packing that big of a punch. And this is kind of exactly what we thought would happen. Once the line kind of crossed the I-65 corridor, it would weaken, and it would weaken somewhat significantly. Now, that said, as it moved into northwest Alabama, it was never too terribly strong. We had a couple of different severe thunderstorm warnings as this line moved into northwest Alabama, but other than that, it was never too terribly strong, and it has weakened even since it's moved out of the Huntsville metro. Back into the Huntsville metro, Madison 565, Highway 72 out of Huntsville back to the west. Just talking about a little bit of rain at this point, maybe a little bit of lightning heading up into Meridianville, Hazel Green. Those folks just talking about a little bit of rain at this point. Now the rain is moderate. Bear that in mind. If you do have dinner plans this evening and you still want to go out for dinner, I suggest just staying in. Stay in this evening. There's no need to go out, but bear that in mind that we are still going to be talking about some moderate rain across northern Madison County and then down into the Huntsville metro. 72 heading to the west, and then 565 eventually joining with the I-65 corridor. As a matter of fact, if we follow 565 heading back into Decatur, we're talking about some rain. Priceville, Hartselle. Still talking about some moderate to at times heavy rainfall. Highway 31 down into Falkville, where they're talking about some very heavy rain. The I-65 corridor kind of in Morgan County heading down into Coleman County. Those folks talking about some heavier rain. A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. Back into Eva, they're talking about some very heavy rain. Again, no hail associated with this part of the storm. I've only seen reports of maybe a little bit of hail, and it would be incredibly small, maybe penny size or even smaller than that in northern Madison County. Haven't heard any reports of hail Morgan County. And then down into Coleman County, down into South Vinemont, we're looking at a little bit of rain, a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. And again, based on the experience of these storms moving through the Huntsville metro area several minutes ago, I can tell you that the wind is right around 25, maybe 30 miles per hour. And honestly, that didn't last too terribly long. This activity is associated with a very large cold front. Cold front's going to move through as we head into the overnight, early into your Sunday morning. Now, temperatures are not going to drop off all that much as we head into your Sunday afternoon. As a matter of fact, we're still going to climb into the 70s. We're not going to be talking about the upper 70s and lower 80s that we saw this afternoon, but it's not by any means going to be cold behind the cold front. This line is really behaving itself, not just here across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, but back into central Alabama, central Mississippi, and then northern Louisiana as well. I don't see any flashing yellow or red boxes. Definitely some good news. The flashing yellow boxes would be severe thunderstorm warnings. The flashing red boxes would be tornado warnings. No watches warnings across the state of Alabama, no watches warnings up across southern Middle Tennessee. I say that, and there is a chance it may have been allowed to expire. Giles County is under a severe thunderstorm watch. I think that's been allowed to expire, though. Otherwise, showers and thunderstorms extending all the way up into the northeast. So let's run Futurecast out over the next couple of hours. Here's Futurecast 6 o'clock this evening, the very latest data coming in here. A line of showers and thunderstorms really beginning to push its way into northeast Alabama at this point. By 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, the main part of the line is going to be out of the Tennessee Valley. So by the time we get to 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, the threat for severe weather is going to be over. So at that point, we'll just be talking about some rain, and the rain is really going to begin to back off once we get to the later part of the evening, 8:30, 9:30 in the evening. And now a lot of the rain is going to begin to back off, even come to a stop at times across northwest Alabama. Lauderdale, Colbert, down into Franklin County, still talking about some rain, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening across the I-65 corridor. Excuse me, heading up into southern Middle Tennessee, 565 heading into Huntsville and northeast Alabama, still probably talking about some rain. Just 1 hour later, though, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening, now a lot of that rain's really beginning to come to an end even east of the I-65 corridor. 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, many of us are dry, and then from there, it looks like we're going to stay relatively dry through the overnight and then early into your Sunday morning. Maybe a couple of passing showers Sunday morning, but I think as you head out the door for Sunday services and Sunday breakfast, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Some passing showers might be possible Sunday afternoon, but at this point, I actually think Sunday is going to be relatively dry. We'll go back to the radar just in case you missed the radar. Right at the beginning, for the most part, we're just talking about some heavy rain back across northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County, talking about some moderate to at times heavy rainfall, Limestone County down into Morgan County, talking about some heavier rain. Here's the main part of that line. Now, this is sub-severe and has really weakened since it crossed the I-65 corridor, really beginning to move into Jackson County. Stevenson down into Scottsboro, those folks probably really beginning to see those darker clouds, if not maybe a little bit of wind, maybe seeing a little bit of lightning there in Jackson County. Stevenson, Scottsboro, those are the folks I would be talking about. Maybe seeing a little bit of lightning, maybe hearing a couple of off in the distance rumbles of thunder. The rain is going to be into their neck of the woods here sooner rather than later. As a matter of fact, let's zoom in on those folks. Here, Skyline, those folks still talking about some heavy rain, but again, Stevenson, Hollywood down into Scottsboro, those folks are dry for the time being. Grant also dry for the time being, but I would anticipate those darker clouds are really beginning to move into that area. And then back Gurley, Woodville, Owens Crossroads, we're still talking about the heavier rain. And then the rain really beginning to subside a little bit in the city of Huntsville. You're not talking about these deeper reds getting into some of the pinks and the purples in the city of Huntsville back into Madison anymore. Still some moderate rain, but it's not as intense as it was 20 or 25 minutes ago. Just to the south of Somerville, just to the south of Hartselle, Falkville, those folks still talking about that heavier rain back into Eva, talking about some very heavy rain in Eva. So we'll continue to watch this line as it pushes its way to the east over the next 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half at the most. The overall chance for severe weather at this point is going to be quite low. Look at the temperatures. You can tell who has seen rain and who has not seen rain. Look at that. Florence sitting at 61. Dew point, though, of 57. Sitting at 59 in Russellville. Sitting at 59 in Moulton, 60 in Decatur, 60 in Athens. Dew point of 58. We have fallen into the upper 50s. Pulaski and Fayetteville up in southern Middle Tennessee. The temperature at the Huntsville International Airport has dropped down to 61. I was outside a little while ago, right before the heavier precipitation began to move in, and I was fairly confident that the temperature had dropped off about 20 degrees or so, and exactly it has. Huntsville climbed into the upper 70s, if not. I don't believe Huntsville saw the lower 80s this afternoon. I want to say they only saw the lower 70s. But you can kind of see the folks who haven't been as impacted yet. Look at that, Scottsboro still sitting at 75, Fort Payne sitting at 74. So quite the contrast. You've got Fort Payne sitting at 74 degrees. But then at the other end of the Tennessee Valley, you've got Russellville sitting in the upper 50s, right at 59. Got a couple of looks outside for you. Again, I highly recommend just staying inside this evening. It's a really good idea just to stay inside, make dinner. I think my wife wanted me to make shrimp tonight for dinner. I believe it is going to go in some sort of an Alfredo, which I'm really, really excited about. I really like a good pasta dish. And this is great weather for staying inside. Traffic seems to be moving smoothly though. On the Parkway. Definitely doesn't look like the rain is as heavy as it once was, and we were kind of talking about that was the general look of the radar, where you can kind of look outside and just kind of confirm that. Here we are in Coleman. Looks like the rain has built its way into Coleman. Heavier rain in Coleman. This from what appears to be the top of Coleman High School. Some of those darker clouds, probably talking about a little bit of wind as well, maybe making that rain look even heavier. Here we are up in Newmarket. They're still talking about a little bit of rain, but the rain doesn't look as intense as it is, say, in Coleman, so a difference of just several miles. And then we go out to DeKalb County, where they are just simply, they're quiet in DeKalb County. Look at that. Still some breaks in the cloud cover. It is a beautiful Saturday evening. If you live over in Northeast Alabama, you really have had a fantastic day. Now, I understand the rain is going to move in just in time for dinner, but again, stay inside this evening. You've had the best afternoon of everyone. You got to enjoy sunshine. The sunshine isn't increasing the severe weather threat at this point. You really could not have possibly had a better Saturday afternoon over in Northeast Alabama. And don't forget, I've reminded you once, twice, and a million times, how about 1,000,001 more? Tomorrow morning, your clocks are magically going to go from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Yeah, you're going to lose an hour of sleep. That's okay, because the sunset is going to be much later, right around 6:50 p.m. That's what time the sun is going to set. We're going to wrap this up in just a couple of minutes. Wanted to give you one more look at the radar before we wrap things up. Still talking about some rain up across southern Middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama. A line of sub-severe showers and thunderstorms quickly beginning to push its way into northeast Alabama, really beginning to push its way into Jackson County, down into Marshall County. Maybe we're beginning to see a little bit of rain. But again, all of this activity is sub-severe, and I would imagine that it's going to remain sub-severe during the last little bit of its journey through the Tennessee Valley. So something we'll continue to pay attention to. Once this line is out of here, we'll just be talking about a little bit of rain. But by the time Fox 54 News starts, it's supposed to start at 10 o'clock tonight, but we've got baseball on Fox, so you should check out that baseball game on Fox 54, and then immediately following the baseball game will be a late edition of Fox 54 News. By the time the late edition of Fox 54 News starts, I actually think there's a really good chance that a lot of this rain will have probably come to an end. But in the meantime, it's almost dinner time. Stay inside for dinner this evening. We'll continue to watch this sub-severe line of showers and thunderstorms. I don't anticipate much in the way of any change as far as this line of showers and thunderstorms is concerned. But if anything does change, well, of course, I'll provide you with an update on that right here on Fox 54 Plus, and I'll also continue to provide updates over on my Facebook page, Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. In the meantime, have a wonderful Saturday evening.